So if you have pain in the upper back in the spine area right here, you better stay tuned to this video because I'm going to show you guys 4 simple home remedies you can do to help alleviate this pain on your own, get yourself looser and stronger. So listen up. And of course, first things first, please subscribe to Ryleyrehab. I know that's what you want to do because I'm going to be coming up with new content every single week, helping you become the expert of your own body. And I know this isn't my body, but I want to demonstrate right here exactly what thoracic pain, or thoracic spine pain rather, is. If you look at somebody on the back here, this is the guy's front, the back is right here. You have the spine, which basically goes all the way from the tailbone to the head. There's the low back, which is one area that can get hurt. The neck is another area. But one that isn't talked about quite as much is the thorax, which is in the middle. And there's a lot of areas here, a lot of bones attached to each other and a lot of joints. They actually can do a lot of motions in your body. Only problem is a lot of times they can get a little tight, they can get a little gummed up, and sometimes certain traumas and things can cause pain. The good news though is you can do a lot of stretches to alleviate this pain, and many of them can be done at home. That said, of course, check with your medical provider first because everyone's a little different with this, but I find in general these tend to be the ones that work for me. The first one you want to do is you want to focus on moving your body side to side in that level. So what that means is you are basically going to tilt your body to the side, back and forth like that. So what you're going to do to tilt side to side, you want to make sure it's not coming from down low. You want to make sure it's coming from this area. So what I want everyone to do is put your hands on your chest, and while your hands are here, you want to make your hand tilt this way. So your right chest goes up, your left chest goes down, and then make your hand tilt the other way. So your left chest goes up and your right chest goes down. You can start very gentle on this. You do not have to bring the arms up or shrug the shoulders up. All you're doing is just making that hand on one of your chests go up and the other one go down. It's really important that I stress the chest moving because it's very easy for people to make everything come from the neck or from the shoulders. In reality, when you move the chest, everything behind moves and the spine because that's the area connected with it. So this is a great way to open up the joints, help alleviate some pain. I would start with doing about 3 sets of 15 of these a day if you can tolerate it. And on the very last one, usually good to hold a good stretch at the end for about 10 seconds just to kind of let it release and relax. Now, if you're telling me this was way too easy, I'm feeling nothing from this, the harder version is to actually reach your hands up like this. And you're basically going to make your body into the shape of a banana. So going this way like that, and then moving the other way like that, and back and forth. You can add some speed to this if you want, but I do like the slow sustained contraction because I do find it really helps open up the joints. One last detail too is the more you reach up, the more of a stretch you'll feel and the more you'll open up the muscle on the side there along with this. Second one you want to work on is you want to work on rotation. Believe it or not, most of the rotation in your back when you twist comes from up here in this upper back area. So when you twist behind you, let's say you're kind of reaching to pick something up, you should be able to have your shoulder point directly forward there. If it's not, it means it's tight. It means you should be able to loosen it up. And it would be a good idea to get to that point because it does help you with your function. But that said, take it easy on this if it is causing pain. What I do recommend is just starting off with just a twist. You can hold on with one hand right here or both hands right here. And then you just twist your body as far as you can. And then you go back and you twist your body as far as you can the other way. And you go back. And you can always add as much pressure as you want on this. So this is one of those ones that's friendly for all skill levels. Similar to this, I would stick with 3 sets of 15 a day. Obviously, if something relieves pain, you can definitely do it a lot more though. Now, one thing I will say is if that was too easy, the more advanced one you can do is what I would like to call wiping the floor. So how this works is you're gonna get on your knees like this, and you're gonna find a towel, any paper towel will do, or dishcloth, and you're gonna put your elbow on that towel, put one hand in front of the other. I'll actually show you on the other side so you guys can see. One hand in front of the other, elbow on the towel, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna wipe the floor across your body, just like that, to try to work on getting your shoulder as far across as you can. And then you come back there, and you wipe back there. The big idea with this is you're not so much focused on the arm moving, but you're actually focused on the body turning. So you should feel like your shoulders are turning like that. Now, some of you might actually find it a little harder to do it the one sitting up. So if that is too easy, instead of wiping the floor, you can just go straight for what I like to call thread the needle, where your arm goes right through all the way to there, and then you come back. And you go back and forth. This one's a really good one to stretch out. You'll probably feel most of this up here. Some people feel it in the low back, but I often find the more you sit down on your bum, the less you'll make it go in the low back, and the more you'll target the upper back to help open it up. Now, moving on to the third exercise. This one is easy to do anytime you're sitting in a chair. You can alternatively do it sitting on a floor with something on your back. Basically, all you're doing here is you're just keeping your back pinned against this spot here, keeping your hands behind the back of your head, and leaning over top of the edge there. Making sure you get a lot of pressure here, just to kind of push those bones, help you bring yourself into that more, what we call extension position. This is a really good one for anybody who has a slump forward posture, because it can help to correct it to an extent. And it's also good too because it does give you a bit of that back massage effect. Similar to how if you were to go see a chiropractor or a physio and they go push on your spine, you can do a bit of this at home, and it actually does work well just to make you feel good, as well as improving your mobility and as well as improving your pain in the long run. Couple points I want to mention on this. Number one, if you are doing this with something here, make sure it's pinned against a wall, because otherwise you may push it back with a lot of force. Also, if you do have any worry of your balance, I would recommend doing this on a firm chair and not a wheelie chair that has any risk of tipping over or anything like that. And third, sometimes you aren't able to get the spot where you have the pain. I should have mentioned this earlier, but the whole entire area from here to here is technically the thoracic spine. That means some people could have pain way down here, some people could have it way up here. There's tons of different areas, and just because you're doing this, you may not hit the spot exactly. So what I recommend is, first, if you have a chair, you can raise or lower the height, that's perfect. But if you don't, the best way I've found to adjust it is if you're too low, you can actually slouch forward a little bit, and that'll bring the height down lower, so then you can target that higher area. Alternatively, if you're too high, all you need to do is just grab any kind of box, pillow, anything that you can sit on, even a stool, just to raise your height up just that much. Even if you have any old phone books lying around, maybe they still exist somewhere in your house, you can boost yourself up, and that will essentially bring it so you're here, and then when you do the exercise, you can target the lower area. Now, moving on to the fourth exercise, this is where it gets the most technical. You're going to find a broom or a bar or anything that's long and preferably has a teeny bit of weight on it. You don't want it to break your back, but something that's not just going to fall off easy. And what you want to do is you want to take that right in the center spot and put it right against your collarbone right here. It should be right behind the collarbone to the point where it's making you talk a little funny like this, like you feel like something's in your throat. You want to have it here, and then you just want to raise your shoulders up just in this position to kind of keep it in that spot there. Now, the big idea with this is you do want to have a chair to sit behind you on. This is, for those of you who've done front squats before, this is similar to that in a sense that you're trying to keep your body up to stop the bar from falling forward. But all you're going to do is just try to balance that. You can raise your elbows a bit on this too, but you're just trying to balance it and stop it from rolling down your arms. But instead of lifting your arms up all the way to balance, you're going to keep your arms below 90, and instead, you're going to kind of try to lift your chest up as much as you can to keep it there. So if you can do this with your arms nice and low, that's even better. If this is already challenging enough, don't worry about what I'm doing from here. Just focus on that. Just focus on holding it there. And you should ideally feel a contraction right back here in order to keep that up there. And that's working your upper back, helping build the strength up there again. For those of you who are finding this way too easy, what you can do on top of that is while keeping it in this position, you can slowly squat down while trying to not let it tip forward at all. So you don't want to have to catch it there. You may be able to tap it with your fingers a little bit, but you don't want it to roll off. Ideally, if I could do it like this, which I don't even know if I can this well, this should have a little more weight on it, to be perfectly honest. But if you can hold it like this, this is perfect right there. And you can basically work on just sitting down while keeping the posture good up high. I'm not going to focus too much on the lower body details here. I'm mostly just trying to focus on keeping people's posture up nice and tall while they're doing that to help build the strength there and in some cases fix people's posture. For the more advanced people, of course, you can transition to doing front squats. I actually find that's a great exercise to help build that area. But I want to show something for every single level so you guys can deal with this pain once and for all. So I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to Ryleyrehab if you like it. I work really hard to put these videos out every single week. Please comment below if you like this, and I will see you next time.